Hello, this is Nathan Pepin, creator of Mental HIIT. Now, I'm here to answer the question, what is Mental HIIT? And in essence, it's mental training combined with exercise science. Or you could say mindfulness combined with exercise science, or meditation if you prefer that phrase. And this is trying to solve a problem, and that problem being that meditation, it works. There's a lot of science to prove it works, but it starts you off kind of rough. The idea is you will focus on your breath, let's say, and then you bring yourself back to your breath when you lose your focus. So, focusing on my breath, all is going well. Jenna, who is she? Jenna Marbles? Is that a person? Yeah, right? I want. Oh, wait, back to the breath. Hold on. Okay. And Susan Summers, did she do anything that one time? Is she like Wheel of Fortune? Get asked to prom, didn't I? No, that was a while ago, wasn't? Nah. So what happens is you focus on your breath, but then you get distracted by thoughts, emotions, feelings, whatever. You just get distracted by things. And then when you realize you're distracted, you bring yourself back to your breath. But the problem is there's an indeterminate amount of time. It's just kind of just free form. So you're trying to maintain your focus, you get distracted, and then this happens over and over again. You try to bring yourself back to your breath, but who knows? It might be 5 seconds until you bring yourself back to your breath, a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or in my case, 10 minutes. I go through the whole meditation practice just being distracted. Sometimes I have great meditation practices, but sometimes it's like, it just doesn't work. So the way I try to solve this is, instead of trying to focus for, say, an indeterminate amount of time, potentially the whole workout period, instead you try to focus for 5 seconds. Just say 5 seconds, and then you relax, say for 10 seconds. And then you focus for 5 seconds, then you relax for 10 seconds. And you do this over and over again until your workout's complete. So let's say your workout time is 10 minutes. So you do that for 10 minutes, and then you're done. And that sounds fine. It sounds easy, right? But then the next workout, you will do 8 seconds of focus, and then you do, say, 10 seconds of rest. 8, 10, 8, 10, 8, 10, over and over again until your workout's complete. And the idea is you start with a small amount of weight, or in this case, small amount of time, and then you increase your focus over time. And I say weight because this is the exercise science point. So it's kind of dumb to go into the gym when you first are starting out and just trying to lift as much weight as possible, because you need to get your form in place. Your form is terrible. You might be able to lift a lot of weight, but chances are your form's not going to be very good, and you want to work yourself up to that amount of weight. So you start something small. So let's say you're a average male. You might start squatting 135 pounds, but then you start increasing your weight each workout. So you might increase it by 5 pounds, over and over again. And eventually you get to the point where you can actually squat a decent amount of weight. Now, potentially you could have squat a lot more to begin with, but you start small just to build your confidence, build your technique, and then you go higher and higher as you progress. And that's the same approach Mental HIIT takes. So you start with 5 seconds of focusing, and then you increase the amount of focus over time. So you go from 5 seconds, and you want to get to, say, a minute. A minute's the goal to begin with. So minutes when you become intermediate. And when you get to a minute, then you try to progress from there. And this is done just by increasing the amount of time you're focusing each level. So every level you progress, you increase your focus until you get to level 21. And then level 21, we do something interesting, and it's called a Focus Max test. So what Focus Max is so in the gym, you have a process of, say, testing your maxes. So you might bench press, say, 250 pounds, and that's your max. So that's how much you can do for one repetition. You try to beat that max. And how do you do that? Well, you have a whole progression scheme. So you start with, say, 60% of your warm-up max for the first week. Then second week, you do 70%, then 80%, then 90%. And then on your final day, you try to do your max test. And you try to hit, say, 255, 260, or say 500 if you're lucky. And you try to hit a max. In the same way, Focus Max testing will try to hit a max with your focus. So let's say your focus max right now is 1 minute. So you want to try to focus uninterrupted for 1 minute and 5 seconds, or 1 minute 10 seconds. ideally 500 minutes, but let's say that's unreasonable. But essentially, you're trying to beat a max. You're trying to beat your current max by focusing for a certain amount of time. So whereas the usual training, you have a certain amount of reps you do, and you focus, rest, focus, rest, focus, rest. With the focus max, you just try to focus for one long stretch of time. And then when you lose your focus, when you finally feel like, oh, I just lost my focus, then you will end the session and report that. Now, there's a nice little methodology I came up with. I'm not sure how accurate it is quite yet, but I came up with it, and I think it's accurate right now. We'll find out with more testing and see if it works for the general population. But this is the methodology, and that's how Mental HIIT works. Now, there's a text version on the app. If you want to read that, it might cover a little bit more detail, but the idea is start out small, end up big. So let's say that you're like me, and you also want to practice meditation too. So there's Mental HIIT training, but doesn't mean you can't do meditation too. So I built this into the app as well. So what it's called is cooldown, and cooldown is just a euphemism for meditation or in the session meditation. And you can set this to whatever you want. By default, it's 0, so you don't have any cooldown, but you can set it to whatever you want. You can set it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And the idea is you'd have your Mental HIIT trainings. Let's say that's 5 minutes, and then let's say you have your cooldown, which is 5 minutes. So you have your standard training, your Mental HIIT training. So that's focus, relax, focus, relax, focus, relax, focus, relax. And then you get to your cooldown, and now you just do a standard meditation. So you just try to focus on your breath, and then when you get distracted, you bring yourself back. So it's a way to incorporate your standard meditation practice into your workout. So you have your workout, and then you have your meditation or mindfulness practice. So you can do both. So definitely give this app a try. If you love it, let me know. If you don't, let me know what you don't like about it, and I can make some improvements. This is the first app I've made, so there's a lot to be done, and this is also experimental. So just meaning that what I've done has been working for me, but it may not work for everyone, and I want to make sure the progression scheme is set up to be suitable for most people. I think the way it is right now, it kind of makes sense, but who knows? Who knows how the general population will handle the progression scheme? So let me know how it is, and if you have any questions, hit me up. I hope you enjoy. Focus.